Hi guys, welcome to this week's Top Catch Top Tip. Now this week we're going to look at a couple of the techniques we used on this week's episode when we were soft baited in the shallows targeting winter snapper around Great Barrier Island. So basically what I'm doing is I'm working along a coastline and I'm trying to identify areas where I think snapper are going to be hiding. What I've found is they tend to be in those narrow guts and channels that you'll see going into the rocks on a shoreline where there's a bit of wash working around, stirring up some nutrients, and somewhere they have a bit of shelter where they can come out, grab the bait fish that are feeding on the nutrients, and then duck back into their deep, safe hole. So once I've identified an area I want to fish, I'll set up a bit of a drift where I'll basically drift along the coastline and I'll just be casting ahead of the drift and going towards the soft bait. The reason I do that is as I drift towards the soft bait, it gives the light jig head a chance to sink through the water column and target fish at all the depths between the surface and the bottom. I'll give it a chance to sink depending on how deep it is. Obviously if there's a lot of water moving around and you're in quite a deep area, you're going to want to give it a little longer to sink. And as I drift towards it, I'm just gently working the tip of the rod, giving that soft plastic a nice little bit of movement and feeling for the bite of a snapper, just like that. And this is a very good snapper. Oh hell dude, this is the one. This is the one with, that was a very good snapper. Bust me off. Oh well, I've just composed myself after that little experience, but as you can see, the technique is effective. So I bring the soft bait all the way back to the boat and then do the same thing again. Cast ahead of the drift in around that wash, and I just stay in contact with the jig head. If I feel a fish, I strike it. If I feel the jig is sinking too fast and coming into contact with the bottom, I speed up my retrieve. I give it a little flick to get it up and away from the bottom and keep fishing all the way back to the boat. There he is. And we're just looking for those snapper that are hanging out in these shallow areas. And there we go. The technique works. It's a very effective way to target healthy winter snapper. It's a very efficient way to target snapper. And there you see the results. You cover a lot of ground. It's a very active way of fishing. It's a fun way of fishing, and doing battle with hard fighting snapper in the shallows, you can't beat it. So we'll put him back. So all the gear you've seen us use in this week's episode, the Shimano soft bait setups, the soft baits and the jig heads are all available at your local Top Catch store.